Hello, it's Stephen Ross, author of Doors Open When You Knock, and I'm also the introverted realtor that knocked on over 125,000 doors as a realtor. Today, I'm talking to you about the five benefits of knocking on doors, or why you should knock on doors. Number one, they're really in no particular order. Exercise. When you're knocking on doors, you're moving. And in a sedentary environment that most of us find ourselves in these days, moving is good. Okay. Number two, sun exposure, i.e. vitamin D. Kind of overrated, I know. Really is a good benefit of knocking on doors. All right, Stephen, you've given us two, and they were kind of obvious. I understand. Okay, we're moving up the chain here. Number three, the number three reason you should knock on doors is you become a better professional. This is really the number one reason. You become a better professional because when you are out there walking and knocking, you are seeing things that you wouldn't see otherwise. In other words, when you look on the MLS or you're even just driving through a neighborhood, there's no way you can see the things you see when you're slowly moving through the neighborhood. There's no other way to learn the inventory. So if you're new, right, you are going to become more expert quickly, right? Which leads to the fourth benefit is experience. So you will have experience of homes that have sold even though you haven't sold them. Stephen, that makes no sense. Here's why. If you're out walking through a neighborhood and you're talking to people about why they moved into the neighborhood, even if they just moved in 6 months ago, well, where did they move from? What made them pick that neighborhood? Of all the neighborhoods they could have picked, if you're paying attention, right, you become way more knowledgeable about what's happening in the neighborhood, what draws people, or why people leave. You learn how to build relationships from nothing but a cold door. And I don't mean getting people's information. I mean, can you build a connection with someone at the door? There's this woman I met many years ago, and she had this great peach tree. Actually, she had these grapes as well, but that's a whole other story. Helen had these amazing peach trees, and every fall, she would call me and say, "Hey, Stephen, the peaches are in." And I would go to her house, and I'd go in the yard, and I'd just pick bags and bags and bags of delicious peaches. The point is, when you think about it, this woman was calling this complete stranger about peaches every year, and we developed this sort of friendship. Now, since she's passed and her daughter's moved into the home, and I didn't sell a home, and you might be thinking, but Stephen, that's total nonsense. Who cares about that? The point is, I could give you 100 other people that I've built relationships with that have led to some sort of business relationship. But that's not even the best part. It's the connections that are magical that do lead to business. But the reason why I'm sharing this one is it has you look beyond just getting someone's information. It's beyond just how do I do a deal. So the fourth reason of knocking on doors is how do you learn to develop relationships, connected relationships, trusted relationships. And then the fifth benefit of knocking on doors is the obvious one, which is doing more business. But it is last. Like, I really invite you to consider that should be the last reason you knock on doors, which sounds silly as a real estate professional because you're like, well, I need to do business, especially if you're listening and you're new or you're in a drought or for whatever reason. You're like, I want to do business right now. I get it. However, there's nothing we can do in this moment right now when we're with someone else that causes them to buy or sell. What we can do, though, is go out every day and create connected relationships. And when you create connected, trusting relationships, your odds of doing business absolutely goes up. I can't think of anything else you could do on a more reliable basis than talk to people and build trusted relationships. Granted, I am a little biased because that's what I did for 16 years. But I say that with absolute certainty, right? If you can go out and build a relationship at the door, holy smokes, man, there is nothing harder than that. So if you can do it at the door, you can do it anywhere. And everything I've done at the door, I do everywhere else in my business. Those are the 5 benefits of knocking on doors. Let's see if I can remember them in the right order. We said exercise, vitamin D, competence and mastery, i.e. becoming a better professional. 4, developing connected, trusted relationships. And 5, yes, do more business. But number 5 was last for a reason. You got to do the other 4 first. Anyways, thanks as always for watching. If you want to know more about how I help agents work less, earn more, and become an expert at the doors, you can go to my website. But really, you should go to doorknockingmastery.com. Everything's in the link below, doorknockingmastery.com, to learn more about how you can master the doors.